Recently, I stumbled across a video. Someone tagged me on a video of a young preacher who was comparing eternal life of Jesus Christ with power bank battery life. I mean, of all comparisons that I've seen that is being used to preach against eternal salvation, this is the most hilarious and this is the most outstanding of all of them. How do you compare the life of God, the life of Jesus Christ, with power bank battery life? So it goes a long way to show our understanding of the concept of life. It goes a long way to show how twisted our understanding of the concept of eternal life is. Because if you understand the life of God, you will know that it is not something that is measurable. If you understand the life of God, you know that it is not something that you can put a cap on. Even though we call it eternal life, but you need to understand that living forever is not the primary aim of God's life. If you want to make comparisons or illustrations to push down the concept of eternal life, there are many biblical concepts. There are many scripturally acceptable concepts that you can use. You can use the father and son relationship, and there are many other instances I can give. So because the union we have with the father is like that of a father and son, so that is why we are made heirs of salvation. That is why we are made joint heirs with Christ. So the concept of father and son pretty much explains salvation better. I remember one time I asked my dad a question, because we often had discussions around eternal salvation, and so at that time he was always against it. So I asked him a question. I said, is there something I can do right now that will stop me from being your son? Is there something I can do right now that will mean that I no longer have your gene running in me, your life running in me, your DNA running in me? So that was the question I asked. And then he said, well, if you do something and at a point I think that you no longer stand with my values, I can reject you, I can disown you. I said, but disowning me, does it take away your DNA from me? And that's where a lot of people mix it up. The believer who lives consciously in sin is only living in identity crisis. It is not that you are not a child of God. It is not that you have not been saved. You have been saved, but you are living contrary to the will of the Father. But he is still your father primarily. He is still your father primarily. His gene runs in you. His DNA runs in you. And there is nothing that can separate it. Nothing can take it away. Even if at the end of the day, your father says, you are no longer my son. Even if at the end of the day, your father looks at you and says, this day I disown you. You have no part in my inheritance. You have no part in my kingdom. And your father, shares his wills and wills his inheritance to every other of your siblings who work according to his statute, and not you. You are still his son. Now, you are his son, but you're not enjoying the benefits of sonship. That is the same thing that happened to believers who walk in disobedience. You walk in disobedience, you take yourself away from the benefits of sonship.